I love the Internet Archive. For the past 25 years, it's been collecting and storing websites, music, software, and videos to preserve and share as a digital library. It hosts a massive collection of fascinating, rare, and obscure media, among which is the VHS archive. Here, there's a virtually endless trove of videos to explore, and I came across 5 that I just had to tell you about. Alright, first up is relief from back pain. Hey, you know what might help my back pain? Not having to sit down and watch a 57-minute video about back pain. This video is presented by chiropractor Dr. Irene Lamberti, who, as of March 2021, practices in Orofino, Idaho, one of 4 chiropractors listed on RateMyMD.com for the town with a population of just 3,109. That's one chiropractor for every 777 people, raising the question, what is going on in Orofino, Idaho that you all need such a high concentration of chiropractors? According to a paper published in the journal Chiropractic and Manual Therapies in 2019, the U.S. averages 1 chiropractor per 4,347 people. What's going on in Orofino? Anyway, Dr. Lamberti gives a 3-part treatise on back pain and how to make it better. With truly local dinner theater level acting, some examples are given on some of the more common causes of back pain.
Another irritating factor. Or maybe you're one of the millions of Americans that like to sleep.
Wait,
like
millions
this
of
at night
what?
with 2 or 3 pillows in their
Americans?
head.
Surprisingly, a lot of the doctor's advice is even more relevant today. She talks about not craning your neck down and trying to keep everything at eye level, a problem which has probably gotten much worse since the early 90s when I'm guessing this video was made. About 10 minutes in, things start getting a little spicy when Dr. Lamberti talks about how doing it can hurt your back. She says that pelvic motion causes back arching, and that's bad. Suggestions are presented to ease back pain while including be on the bottom or lay on your side, and don't thrust as much. Sounds great. Other great advice to keep your back healthy is get in and out of your car awkwardly while wearing pink sweatpants, turn yourself all the way around when reaching for your shareware copy of Doom on 5 1/4-inch floppy, make sure not to change your sweatpants before you go to sleep and put a decorative pillow between your legs, and of course, finally change your sweatpants but take forever to pick up and move a fairly small bag.
You can protect yourself. First he has to bend, then he has to turn and move it to wherever it's going, and finally the unload. See if that doesn't help you a lot. Separate the movements. First the lifting, then the turning, and then of course finally the release.
The most frequent causes of back pain, Dr. Lamberti says, are these 5 things that people do every day to aggravate their backs, and we all do them more than we think.
You have a dish here and you're rinsing it off, and then you go and load it in the dishwasher like this. You take another dish, you're rinsing it off, and then you load it in the dishwasher like this. What movement is that? Of course, it's bending and twisting at the same time.
Oh, shit! Bending and twisting, that is some dangerous stuff. The rest of the video is mostly examples of exercises that will help your back pain. Man, this guy really loves pink, but then again, it was the 90s and everything was neon pink back then. There are also a bunch of yoga moves, and Dr. Lamberti talks you through each movement with a very calm and soothing voice. Add to that the amazing graphics, like this bizarre cross-section that for some reason doesn't show the whole skull, to this diagram where the subject has freakishly long arms, and you've got a video that's still pretty relevant nowadays. To be honest, I was surprised at how well the content of this video holds up. It's basically, don't crane your back, move carefully, and exercise to keep yourself in shape, which I think is pretty good advice no matter what decade you're in. Okay, the next video I found was this panel discussion between what I at first thought was a bunch of bank employees, and that sounds boring as hell, but it turns out to be about ATM robberies and what to do during them. And it gets pretty entertaining pretty quickly.
Instructed to give, a certain amount first, give the smaller bills first, and if they say, I want it all, bitch, or whatever.
My man here on the right is not pulling any punches when he role-plays a bank robber talking to a teller. After the unnecessarily aggressive role play, the drab panel goes on to discuss, and I wish I were making this up, the HR ramifications of a bank teller handing over cash to an armed robber.
Are there any HR or legal consequences for giving it up when the chest wasn't open? I think you may want to reiterate your positions on that.
Yeah, well, from an HR standpoint, we stress that safety is the most important part of this.
Blue Shirt Guy then tells a story about a convenience store clerk in Texas who foiled a robbery and was subsequently fired for doing so. The bottom line, Blue Shirt Guy says, is follow the robber's instructions.
You may have heard of an event within the past few months in Texas where a clerk at a convenience store ignored that policy and actually foiled the robbery. He was hailed by local newspapers and TV stations and so forth as a hero. Shortly thereafter, he was also quietly dismissed from the company.
By now, I figured out that this panel is discussing the safety and security of people who service ATMs, presumably at banks and convenience stores. Oh, there's an audience, and it looks like it's question time. This guy asks who to call if someone steals the money they've taken out of the machine for servicing. The answer is to definitely not run after the thief and to get as much descriptive information as possible. This panelist is light years ahead of his time as well, not assuming the gender of the robbery suspect.
The car, the direction that he went in, types of clothes that he wore, she wore.
He also says to call your manager before calling the police, so okay. So the guy answers the question, and then the audience member and the panelist name NCR as the company for which this video was produced. NCR is still in business, and it looks like they build hardware and software to facilitate financial transactions. They focus a lot on e-commerce, so I wonder how much of this cash handling policy is still relevant to their current employees. Regardless, the video continues with some excruciatingly detailed back and forth about the inner workings of 1990s ATMs. God, this guy just won't stop.
I'll kill you if you don't. In the convenience store context, strangers have a right to be in your store and in your face all day long. It's a signal that you're not a patsy. They are able to target the oldest or the youngest or one who's lame or ill. Could you ask him to move or leave? Or you can say, no, I'm not going to do it now. You can't stand here while I've got the machine open. If you get a bad vibe, no explanation necessary, slam it shut and go.
Man, I'd hate to hear the way this guy talks to his wife and kids. He does calm down a little towards the end, however, with a hip pop culture reference.
Luke Skywalker said it, didn't he? Let the Force guide you. But if you pick up the Force, the bad forces out there, Darth Vader's lurking somewhere, act on it.
So the big takeaway from this how not to get robbed while servicing an ATM video seems to be do your best not to get robbed. And you know what? I think that's advice we can all get on board with. Okay, Mr. Microaggression got me all tense, so I think it's time to chill. Let's go relax beside still waters. This video has one of my favorite copyright warnings ever. My integrity? That's an odd thing to appeal to. However, it makes much more sense when it's made known that this video was produced by Brentwood Music. It looks like Brentwood Music is now called Brentwood Benson, and they produce a lot of faith-based music and media. I have to say it does have some nice images and some very mellow orchestral music, although personally I could do without the pan flute heavy overture that opens the video. It's 28 minutes long and it's just music and enjoyable scenery. Oh my god, is that what a baby moose looks like? That's adorable, look at his long legs. I just love that somebody took this tape and put in all the effort to encode it and then upload it to the Internet Archive. This was like a thing that somebody took the time to do, like they had to go find this tape on their shelf or in their storage box, connect a VCR to their computer, put this tape in and press play, and sit there while it was recording. Kudos, uploader. Me and the 65 other people who watch this from start to finish truly appreciate your efforts. Okay, that pan flute's really starting to get on my nerves. Hey, this thumbnail looks promising. Kind of like what me and my friends looked like on a Saturday night in junior high, crowded around a computer with not a girl in sight. This is from the National Engineering Consortium, and it's an hour-long video about
some of the best 21st century visions of new technologies and their application in the information industry.
I love looking back on what people in the past thought our present/their future would look like. I could only get through the first two segments. The first segment is about virtual reality and how this group of privileged kids in Seattle got to work on building their own VR world. I wonder what kinds of virtual worlds the kids who were going to school in Harlem or in Mississippi or Detroit or Kentucky or the Florida Panhandle were building with their cutting-edge computers that they definitely had back in the early 90s. Anyway, these four wieners collaborate on, among other things, moving the light.
The light. Oh yeah, move the light. Move the light. That was...
to build a virtual world.
Move light. Where is it?
I'd love to travel back in time, strap an Oculus on one of these kids, load up Pornhub, and see what they think of that virtual world.
That's something new. It's a new experience. It's like going off to a new world.
Yeah, this kid gets it. The next segment is a poorly acted vignette about a woman who is about to give birth in May of 2003. As an aside, the kid who's being born in this video will be turning 18 this year.
In the 21st century, telephone lines will unlock the knowledge that will help us learn, keep us well, and set us free.
It starts off with a title card glorifying the telephone line, which by 1996 was already way too to be of any use to the internet. God, remember the potential people saw on the internet back in the 90s? Nowadays it's more like, in the 21st century, the internet will convince a bunch of people that vaccines cause autism, and will unlock the knowledge that a dress is either blue or black, help us hide our kids and hide our wives, keep us entertained, and set us up for societal failure. Anyway, back to the action where poor Anna is about to give birth, her husband is away on a Navy ship, and her doctor is a very wooden actor. The laboring woman is left all alone to call her parents in Fresno on their super futuristic screen phone, while Dr. Bad Actor calls her white male, of course, supervisor to get a consultation on the mother-to-be's condition.
Gravido-1 para 0 who's just past 35 weeks. Contractions started about 2 hours ago and dilation is 2 centimeters.
Back in Fresno, her parents scramble to get themselves down to San Diego for the birth. Her dad is at his desk making travel arrangements and getting his balls absolutely nagged off by his wife.
A nice arrangement for Anna's room. And call my boss, tell him what's happened. Oh, and Michael's black shoes should be ready. He can pick them up on his way home from school. Dinner.
His daughter is about to give birth and he looks like he just doesn't want to go on living. And can you blame him? His wife is a total nag. I'm glad to see sitcom-esque gender stereotyping has survived into the 21st century. And then the wife makes a startling realization.
We haven't ordered the crib. Oh. Make sure it's not one of those.
Ha, that sigh. You just know it was his job and he totally forgot. Anyway, Dad uses the super futuristic Yellow Pages to find a baby furniture store in San Diego and chooses a crib. Their other son, who it seems sleeps in his clothes and likes to drink a nice cold can of Coke first thing in the morning, wakes up and his dad immediately starts in on him.
And good morning to you, too. She's in San Diego. Anna's having a baby. You'll be an uncle before the day's over.
Yeah, shrug. Who cares about my sister having a premature baby? What a dick. At the hospital, Mom has finally arrived and goes to her daughter's room. But back at home, Dad is still bumbling around talking to his computer and listening to his messages. He gets bad news from one of his clients, and instead of leaving to join his wife to attend to his daughter who is having a risky childbirth, he has to sit there and redraw the house he's working on. Well, one thing's for sure, they definitely accurately predicted the slavish expectations of the 21st century workplace in this video.
Okay, Anna, here we go. Another contraction.
By this point, Dr. Bad Actor is wrist-deep in baby goo and Mom is helping Anna through her difficult labor. But it all ends well. Mom phones home on the Pacific Bell public pay video phone, which definitely became a thing, and shares the good news that Anna had a girl. Again, she nags her poor husband about the crib, so he shows her the one he ordered through the futuristic Yellow Pages. In true 1990s sitcom fashion, the wife hates it, and again, poor Dad gets his balls nagged off for the crib being the wrong color. Overbearing shrew that she is, Mom orders a different crib, and Dad just kinda sits there, laughs at all the mistakes he's made in life, and for the third time today wishes he were dead. Again, a surprisingly accurate depiction of the 21st century middle-aged man. Now that all the baby drama is over, IDGAF brother can start working on his school report or whatever. But what's this? He did care after all? He's doing his report on premature babies! Cool! The father and son stare in wonder at sonogram images, share some camera-friendly banter, and call it a night.
No, Dad. I don't know who it is. It's a sonogram.
Fast forward a day or two and the family is united over a video call. Again, pretty much nailing what life will actually be like in 2020. Dr. Bad Actor comes back holding the baby and everyone's happy. You know, for being produced in 1991, there was a lot in this segment that was eerily accurate. That one hit a little too close to home, so let's look at something a little less intense. This one is less intense, but it's a lot more weird, and tangentially it gets way more weird than I ever thought possible. See, this company, Soil Shield International, makes fabric protectors to keep your upholstery stain-free.
Hello, I'm Shirley Jones. On behalf of your furniture store, we would like to thank you for your recent purchase. Actually, you've made more than a purchase. You have made an investment.
After an introduction by Shirley Jones telling us all about how great our furniture store is, how nice it is to have furniture, and how furniture is actually an investment that won't end up at the Goodwill store when it falls out of fashion, she passes it off to this guy.
Hi, I'm Russ Christoff.
Hi, Russ.
Your Soil Shield fabric protection is a good investment.
So our new friend Russ tells us all about how Soil Shield protects our couch from stains. Who the hell would have thought that a couch needs a 20-minute instructional video? Can I just sit on it?
Now, your Soil Shield warranty protects your upholstery from permanent stains and spots caused by foods and beverages. It does not, however, cover general soiling. Immediate cleanup of spills and vacuuming are your best defense against general soiling.
Oh, so like if I shit myself on the couch, Soil Shield won't cover it? So Russ goes on and on about all this stuff, and then he does exactly the thing he warned us not to do. God damn it, Russ, you just said not to leave a stain on the couch for too long. Oh God, he's doing it again! Okay, he got it up. I was worried there for a second. Russ suggests keeping a cloth under the cushion so that you can quickly get the spill off the couch. You better hope you don't spill on the cushion you put the cloth under, or you better be a friggin' millionaire and have a cloth under each cushion. Come on, Russ, I just bought this new couch and added on the Soil Shield. I can't afford cloths to put under each cushion. So yeah, this is basically an instructional video on how to clean stuff off your couch. Russ tells me that there's a chart that gives instructions on what to do for each type of spill. It's like putting in a cheat code to a 90s video game. Russ, I'm panicking about the spill on my couch. I don't have time to consult a damn chart. You just told me that time is key when cleaning up my couch.
Now, pre-test the remedy on a hidden area of the fabric to make sure that it doesn't discolor.
Well, I guess people cared a lot about stains on their couches in the 90s. Why not just cover your sofa in plastic? Or better yet, just never sit on it at all. Hell, why even buy a couch in the first place? Just stand in an empty room so you won't have to think so much about how to clean your friggin' couch. Imagine for a second you're the actor playing Russ. Your dream has always been to be an actor, and even though you're well into your 50s and haven't gotten that big break yet, you're still going out to auditions. You're all over town auditioning for parts like background actor, white male, and man in restaurant, and toothpaste user number 2 when the phone rings. They want you to be the star of a video. It's a video about cleaning couches. You're over the moon. After all, there are no small parts, only small actors. You tell your wife about it. You tell your friends, hey, I'm going to star in a video about cleaning couches. They're going to put me in a sweater that's 3 sizes too big, and I'm going to show people how to clean furniture. Next stop, Hollywood.
A little beyond the cleaning spot so that the whole area dries evenly.
Well, it turns out our new friend Russ did actually make it to Hollywood, and his IMDb page actually has a couple of entries on it. But as it turned out, it wouldn't be acting that Russ became famous for. As recounted in the Wall Street Journal in 2009, Russ, or Russell as he has been credited in his acting jobs, took a trip to a hardware store in 2002. He got to chatting with another customer who told Russ he looked familiar. Russ looked like the man whose picture was on the jar of Taster's Choice instant coffee at home in his cupboards, the customer said. But how did that happen? See, in 1986, Russ had some work as a model, and in what I imagine was a stock image shoot, he posed for a picture that showed him enjoying a steaming cup of coffee. For the photo, he was paid $250 and promised that if it was ever used for the Taster's Choice label, he would receive $2,000 and some additional compensation.
Although Soil Shield helps to prevent these soils from sticking,
one can only imagine that Russ forgot about that photo in agreement and went about his life assuming the photo was never picked up by Taster's Choice at all. After all, it didn't appear on the labels until 11 years later. When Russ discovered his photo had been in use for 5 years on a coffee label, he sued Nestle and was originally awarded $15 million by a jury after a trial. That decision, however, was later overturned by the California Supreme Court, which ruled that too much time had passed in between the initial appearance of Christoph's image on the coffee label and his lawsuit. It was sent back to a lower court for retrial. On May 26, 2010, the case was dropped by Russ, which is widely believed to be because Nestle settled the suit rather than proceed with another trial. The amount of the settlement is unknown. So for all you kids out there who dream of making it in Hollywood, do the couch cleaning video, because it's just a stepping stone to a bunch of smaller roles in minor films that eventually lead to a lawsuit against a multinational food conglomerate who used a photo of you from 11 years ago. Because after all, isn't that the dream of every actor who's ever taken the stage? When I was browsing the Internet Archive for videos to talk about, I sorted by number of views, and I picked the ones that had less than 100 views at the time. I didn't seek out this video of Russ teaching us how to clean couches, it just came up. I thought it was funny and I decided to talk about it, and I had absolutely no idea that Russ was involved in a lawsuit against Taster's Choice. But it just goes to show you how interesting some of these old videos can be and what you can uncover when you dig just a little bit deeper.